So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar on Power BI. I'm very happy to have all of you along with us. We're very excited about this event based on the interest and response to our invitation. There's a lot of interest in this topic, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Today's session, my name is Carl Sawatsky, so on behalf of CTC Train Canada, welcome everyone. Today's webinar will be presented by Robert Prue. Robert has been training for 20 plus years, and he knows all the ins and outs of, in particular, Microsoft Excel, what it can do for you, and really what the power is of this tool. And that's what we'll be looking at today. You'll get a good glimpse at how strong Excel is, what it can do for you, and how it can work with Power BI. So it will really give you a glimpse of the reality of this product, how it can help you in your day-to-day work, and make you all that more efficient. So we're very happy to have you along with us. And without further ado, I'll pass the word over to Robert, and Robert can get our session underway. Hi, Robert.
Good morning. Good afternoon. All right, so this will be a nice, fun end of a week event. What we'll be talking about, obviously Power BI, the power of Power BI. It will be also brought into the process of bringing in some data, external data, using the Power Pivots and different tools that will help us actually get some information, provide some information, and obviously help management with a series of tools that are quite nice in process. So what I'm going to do here, without further ado, is we'll get right into the matter of the subject. I have an Excel spreadsheet here. What I want to be looking at is I actually want to go and get information from a database that is basically it's on my desktop, and I want to bring this in to Excel, and I'll bring in a series of other little elements quickly to create a tool for me to be able to work properly. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to Data. I'm looking at getting external data from Access. So the first thing I'm going to do here, of course, is I'm going to go to my desktop and Power BI. There's my Olympic medals. I'm going to open this information here. Now, what we have here, and the power of this tool is really all about having Power Pivot, Power Query, Power Views installed, all right? So here I will enable selection of multiple tables. And when I select them all here, as you can see, I'm just showing you, I'm bringing basically the whole database. I'm going to click on OK. At this point, I can bring them in as tables. I will bring them as a pivot support. In the same token, as you should see at the bottom, this is a very important part where we have add this data to the data model. It is checked off, which means basically that it's working as if it was a Power Pivot tool in a process. It will bring in all my information, and making it a data model will provide me the ability to actually do some connections and work. So I don't know, without further ado, I'm going to hit OK here, and this is going to generate some information that I'm going to be able to work with. Now, this is a database coming in, as you can see here. Now, what we have here, and if you take a look at active fields, I have disciplines, I have events, I have my medals, I have myself, so summer teams and winter teams. Now, from we can here start working with a pivot table. There are some things that we can do. For example, here, if I was to choose from the disciplines, and if I was to put in the disciplines here and turn around and put in maybe the sports, or maybe the in my medals, come down and put the seasons, I may not get any seasons. Right? I may not be able to and put in the medals. I get some information, and it's so we're seeing different elements and by summary. So there is some work, and that works just fine in the process. So now, if I was to take my columns and put in my countries, there you go. So now we're looking by country and seasons. I will come in and put my my disciplines here. There we go. So now we have disciplines by. So this, as you can see, we are starting to build a whole length of information. And you see the information is incorrect because there's no link to some of these tools in the process. So this is fine. I will now take this out of there. And so what we want to do here is we want to have a little more elements to work with. And I will just put in my medals here as let's see, table. So filter basically choosing bronze, gold, or silver. These are choices. And if I take my metals and the values, it'll be a count of metals. So there's 32,000 within my database. Now, what I want to be looking at here is I want to be able to bring in some information, some external information. So I will come here and, let's rename this one to make it look good. Pivot table. And how about this particular sheet? We'll call it sports. There we go. And I'll actually create another one that I will call host. And you'll see there's a method to my madness in the process. So under sports here, what we're going to do here, I'm going to come in here and we'll hit open. And I will open this particular spreadsheet. So you see we have some data here. And so what I'm going to do here is just basically make it, All right, so just basically, All right. All right, come back here. Go back to my All right, so there. So there's my data. As you can see here, whoops, select it all, and go all the way down. And basically, so there we go. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this, all right, and simply come into my other worksheet, and I will basically paste it in there. Now, what you want to do, in order for this to work, we'll need to put this into as a table view. So while this is still selected, I'm going to insert, choose table here, and you'll notice that sports, although they are the titles, it doesn't show that the table has headers because the data is also text. So I need to tell it that it's a table has a header. Okay. Now, make this easier because you may have several tables. You want to turn around and take this here, and we're going to call it sports. So it makes it easier for you to recognize the range by this being sports. Now, in the host here, we're going to do here, of course, I am going to come here. I'm going to go to my desktop, Power BI, and I'm going to get a text file. So just show you that we have different elements that we can choose from. So you see here we have a host in a notepad, a txt file. I will just make the whole selection, make a copy. I will minimize this here. Sorry. Come in here and basically paste it in there. As you know, as you can see right now, just from the onset, it has created for me a blank row, just the way the data was generated. I will then, of course, delete this. And in here, I would again insert the table. You'll notice here the table selection was done, and it says my table has headers because here there's obviously some a text on the first line and some numbers under. And I'm going to hit OK. So now, right now, what we have, so we have our information here, and we have. So now, if I go back to my pivot table, and here, let's call this one host to make this easier for everybody in the process. Not hosts, but hosts. There we go. All right, so there we go. So now that I have this information done, I'll go back to my pivot table. At the present time, you do not see any of that information, right? So we're going to come in and click on all. When I click on all, I now will have the host and so on and so forth. So now, if we come back to my pivot table, and how about, again, we will put in, we'll select metals as a metal count. There we go. Now, if I go to my sport, so you see here within my metal table, I'll take the sports here, and in the host, I will now take the countries as a column. So while we have our information in the process. Now, as you notice right now, we have there's a nice window here saying that we may need to create some links as they are not done. So we'll get to that in about 2 seconds. Now, you see, if I was to take my host, you see in my sports here and choose sports within my sports window here, you see, basically, they're every single time they are repeated. See, so really, there's no link to it, no proper link in the process. So we're going to go and create these links. Now, remember, I talked about the Power Pivot being installed. Yes, we have Power Pivot here, right up here. So I'm going to hit Create right here. Now, what we're going to do here is start creating the first relationships that I need to do. So, of course, here I'm going to go to the Sports table. Now, this really should be inverted, but it's okay. If you've worked with Access or relationships before. So this is the related table, and it's going to relate to and I'm going to come here and choose my sports ID. And here, if I scroll down here and go to disciplines, sports ID. So the connection is done now. So that I have made a connection, I'm going to hit OK. then we will have that type of connection. And so that's the first part. Now, you see, if we hit create, there's still others to work. Because my host, it does not work at the present time. So in order to do this here, I will then go to my Power Pivot, and I'm going to talk about adding to the data model. So you see here, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the host tab, because this is a tab that is not added to my data model. I will click on Add to Data Model. This is where it's going to be starting to make a bit of sense. Process. There we go. So you see here, there is my host table here. There we go. And you see there we have my metals, and we have events, disciplines, and the whole thing. So what I want to talk about here is the ability to do this thing. So I'm going to click on diagram. This is the best way to get your information in and to view it in the process. Now within this window here, there's no magical way of moving this around, but you know, what I'm going to do here, I may just cheat here just a bit, you see. I will select all three of them, sorry, and basically just drag them. All right. And if I come down here, I have one more, just very slowly bring them over. There we go. Now, for the purpose of this presentation, I know I will not be using these particular two tables, which is basically your summer teams and your winter teams. I'm going to just right-click here, and I'm going to hide them from the client tool so that they're not going to be in our way. There we go. And hide. So both of them are hidden, so they're really just not going to be something that we're going to really need to work with in the process. So now here, I'm just going to push this here just a bit, push this here a bit. So what we have here, these are the ones that are already established. And I see here I have some in the process. So again, there are some things that I can host. So at the present time, if you take a look at my actual screen, if I was to connect, now you see if I was to try to discipline, if I was trying to do anything in the process, some of them may not work at all. So if I go to discipline ID here, discipline ID, I won't be able because it's something that's duplicated. Now I know that the discipline event in here, this one I can make the contact or connection, and there we go. Now you see here, watch what you see is if you click on the actual line, it'll actually tell you which ones are connected. Not like other software, mainly Access, where the line lines up with in the process. That's good. Now here, if I want to connect my host, and if I was to look at my host data, which is, you know, we are looking at editions and seasons, we have editions and season here, they are not a unique key. So I need to create a unique key in my host, because these will be many to many in the process, and that's not going to really work. So what I'm going to do here, I will have to go to data view and adapt my data for it to work properly. So I'm going to go to my data view here. Now, from the host, you see, I have here my edition and my summer. So I'm going to come in here, create a new one called edition ID. So there is my new field, edition ID. And what I'm going to do is you know, so come in here, we'll create a small little formula here, you know, concatenate my year, my edition, and my season to get something in the process. So to concatenate using the square bracket, because we have the table view, we can actually do our, so it's going to be edition, okay, and comma, and the other field, which is going to be season. There we go, come down here, and there's my season, all right, and I close the bracket, and now I have a field, oops, oh, sorry. There we go. And now I have a field that's, so in order to have that work, you see under my metals here, you see I have additions here. Now the format's not the same in my season or winter. Now, if I go back to host half a second, these are all, and I will sort these to show you that they're all unique fields. So you may have a situation where you have two 1928s, but you have a summer and a winter Olympic. But they never, none of these ever repeat in the process. So they're all unique fields in the process. So that's perfect. So that's going to be my unique or my primary key for this particular table. I'm going to go back to my metals here, and I'm going to scroll down. I'll need to fix this edition here, and then add it to my season in a concatenated field. Sorry. So I'm going to come in here. This is the first one here. I'm going to call year. So this here is a simple field that I'm creating, and I'm going to use the DAX formula. So I'm going to put in here equal. So there's my year, you see, and I'm going to select square bracket, you see, and we can choose edition. and close bracket, hit enter. So now this will create a field with only the year. All right. Now that just now I can take my year and my season, put them together, just like we did last time. So come here, put in an edition ID. There we go. So now we're starting to have some fun here in the process. Or we can come here, and now I can start actually putting a lot of fields together to do some actual good work. So we're going to come here and just equal. Oops, sorry. There we go. Again, square bracket. Now remember, this is not addition, but year we need to find. So I'm going to come down here, double click on year, put a little comma, period, a comma, and now put in the section, which is going to be our season. There you go. Close bracket. And now that I have this information here, watch. Now we can go to our diagram view, and I can actually take this here and drag this on here. So now we have created the actual link in the process. So I'm going to close this window. And now if I come back here, go back to my pivot table, we can take this one out. And I see from the host I can take the country, from the metals I can take the sport. And there we go. Now you see, and if I scroll up here from my season, from my sports, right, take the sport. Now we're looking, see, here, athletics. Now you see there's our correlation. So as you can see, there's a correlation that we can have to actually work with this elements. So we have the athletics, baseball. So we scroll down here, a little further down, we will have, you see, different tool, different process. So there is obviously some elements here that they've combined, and it does not work. Now this being a little too big, I'm going to come in here, and how about if we just do a bit of archery athletics? Let's put in fencing. Let's put in here skating, and let me put skiing here. That's here. Okay. So now we have our elements here, and what I'm going to do here, come up here in column labels. I'll just put a value where it says value greater than. Let's put in 90, more than 90 metals. And we're going to actually take skiing out. Whoops. And take skiing out. There we go. All right. So now we're seeing elements where there's more than 90 in the process. So we've been able to build that. And I'll play the devil's advocate here. Take away aquatics and put in athletics. All right, so we're looking at a different tool, a different set of tools, and we're able to build that very nicely in the process. Now, so what we've done here is we've done some information. Now, I can actually take a look at this, and using the power of the power pivot here. So we have our information here. I want to show you something that's sort of kind of cool. So remember, here, I went a little too fast. Let me just close this for a second. Remember, we have so I could, for example, I could come in here and put in the cities before, and start building Amsterdam and countries, or whatever the case may be, or put the cities below and have countries by cities. These are things that we could actually do. Now, watch what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to go back to my Power Pivot tool view, and in the diagram, I'm going to take my events here. In the events, I'm going to actually create what is called, very nicely, a hierarchy. So we'll create a hierarchy here. This one here, I'll call it SDE. And in this window here, watch, I'm going to right-click on sports. I can just add to the SDE hierarchy. I can then put in discipline. I can simply just drag it here and finish with the event. So now I have sports discipline event. I will then do the same thing in host. Turn around, start creating here a hierarchy. I'll call this one location. Now from this location, I'm going to put in, I'll start with the season, then the city, then the country, and there we go, and finish with the edition. All right. So now that this is done, I'm going to close this. Now look where this becomes quite interesting in the process. So if I take away, if I remove the sports, country. Now under host, I'm going to use the location right here. When using the location, look, now I'm going to, and I'm going to do the same with my metals, where I'm going to scroll down and use my, where did I do this? Metals, host, sorry. SDE, right, correct? Sports, no. Where's my SDE? In events. In events, there's my SDE. There we go. So now we have this information, and watch. I can go with example athletics. From athletics, I can choose different athletics, and you can build. So you can really drill down your process, or I can decide, for winter, and choose a specific Albertville, France, in '92. So I'm able to build this information and go across and really drill down without having to. So you're building your cards a little faster, a little stronger, a lot usage of this in the process. All right, is this making sense for everybody? I hope it does. Hope it's giving you a good idea of what we're starting to work with here in the process. So now what I can do from this window, and this is your part. Now what we're going to be looking at, the next step I do want to look at, so we're going to talk about the power view. I'm going to create a power view here. I use this particular tool here, and it's going to generate for me a new sheet, and we'll talk about this sheet here. So there we go. So what we have here, this is the window we're looking at, and we are able to put this information quite clear. So now what I'm going to do here so I'm going to go here from my city, from my host, and I'll start with the cities. All right, so there's my cities that are up here. And then, of course, from my metals, I can choose my sports. All right, so now we're starting to build this window here, and I could decide, well, I want to take a look at this in a different light or in a different view. So what I can actually do here is what I have is perfect. We're good. So we have the city, we're the sports. Now what I want to do is go to a map. So you see here, I can turn around here, click on map, and now we're going to be looking at it. So I can take this map here, and look, I'm going to generate this in a process here, and there we go, and put this a bit more. So now, obviously, we may want to change the way we're viewing this very easily, and so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to take the map, and I want to show different tools that we can actually use with this. And so what we have here, well, I want to change this a bit in the process, and you see here we have color as sports. So what I'm actually going to do here is take my sports here and move this up to sports, you see, and I'm going to go and choose season. If I choose seasons in the colors, I will then it'll generate, process, give a second. All right, so, sorry, folks. I'm going to put my sports right here in the side of the sport. This will be a lot better. So there we go. So now we're looking at our information here. Now look, I can say I just want to see the winter sports. And you see or click the summer sports are highlighted. And you see you could drill down. You'll drill in, and you see you just can drill into. And you're viewing, obviously, by amount of sports process. So you see. You're able to build that very simply. Now watch what I can do. I could decide to take my. Remember we did a field that we called year. I did this in my metals, not in my metals, I believe. Yeah, in year. So I'm going to take my years and title them by. So now you'll see I can choose. Well, 1929. There are the two instances of summer and winter sports. I can scroll down here and see, move around. 1956. There we go. Choose maybe 64. There we go. Now you have your two different Olympics 2 different times. Now, this is good, but I can, you see, change this tile type. I can hit the drop-down arrow here, go to tile flow. Now, in a tile flow, it's just another way of viewing, you see, and I can run through my layers in a different, like, sort of, it's more a dynamic view of information as you run through you walk through your different years, and you're able to build that very simply, very straightforward, and you know, it actually does make it very easy to look at and to work with in the process. All right, so that's some of the you know, and we brought this information here. We viewed it as a map, and it was very easy to work with. And this is your Power View, very simple, straightforward information, but it gives you some nice data. I'm able to, you see, I can actually take this here, bring it down. There we go, and you know, just expand this as much as I can for my presentation.
Well, Robert, if I could very briefly interject, I'll just remind everyone that if you do have any questions whatsoever on Robert's presentation, feel free to use the Q&A function, and we'll ensure that those questions get answered. Thank you.
All right, good. Good. So that's part of it. So this is one of the elements that we're looking at here. And so again, I brought from where? I brought from a spreadsheet that had a pivot table, and I went to my Power View, and I imported some information, all to be analyzed in my Excel. So we have the ability to gather information from different sources, bring it all in, make it a Power View, do some work with it, do the pivot table, and see the Power Pivot. Obviously, since I've used I have the Power Pivot views, it acts as a Power Pivot. The connections are done. We have, you see, everything that's active, which is all, and we have our information that we're easily able to build to view the information that we're looking and to do the analysis that we require. So that's the Excel portion of it. At the very so now, what I want to talk about now, we're going to move on to an information process. But before we do this, what I would like to do here is just take 2 seconds to actually open a couple of spreadsheets here. So here we have this basically, oh yeah, we love table editing, there we go. So you see here, this is basically, content. So yeah, we love you too. All right, so we have here this week monthly sales, give it a second. So these are Power views that have been played with or started to work with in the process. And you see this is a complete, we'll get into the building of this in the process. So you see here, we have the total sales and variances. And this is the type of look that you'll be looking at here. So I say we can be looking at different elements to work with. And so I can actually expand this here and talk about this and just bring it back in real quick. Take this guy here. We can talk about some information and workability. Change the background if you need to. This is basically very easy to work with and information. And you can see your filtering tools right on the right. So as you build this one here, see we have this year's sales and the colors, the chains, and so we're able to play with this rather not quickly but nicely without having to work. See, under chains, remove shield, show with no data. So you can play with the information here. So the sizes of information. Here, this is more of a DM image, your individual, so on and so forth. Now here, hit new stores. You will also see some information here. Store analysis here. So we have Power views. And what I'm showing you is this information. Then we'll actually go into to create some work with that information here.
Robert?
Yes?
If I could, we had one question come in. I'm not sure if you'll be touching this further on or not, but Ken was asking if you'll show how to install the Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View add-ons.
I will be happy to do so.
Okay.
I'll be happy to do so.
Sounds good. So I'll let you add that in when appropriate. Great. Thank you.
All right. Anyways, we'll dispense with that here. I'm just basically going to come back here to my info. All right. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here, well, I think the question warrants something to be talked about. So what I'm actually going to do here is, we'll just minimize this in the process. So what we're going to do here is talk about I'm just going to go here. Sorry, So one of the things that you want to do, for example, if you're looking at power queries or any of these things, so if you want to do it, so I'm going to say, I'll say Excel power. I'll say power pivot. They're all the same. Power pivot. Geez, Robert. Sorry, folks. All right. All right, so when we're looking at Excel, here we're going to go 2013, and so we have, I'm going to hit enter here. So I see install Power Pivot for, so if I click here, install a Power Pivot, you have some information, and you see, basically you have your components here, what you need, what is required, the minimum requirements, notes, the recommendation download, and so you see, and now just need to understand, if you are, you see, if you are at 64-bit, you need to put in the 64-bit add-on. Don't try this, the 32 on the 64 or 64 on the 32. It's a small thing that you need to do here. So you see here, so there's your Power Pivot. So I'm going to scroll back up here, all the way back up, and other versions, Power Pivot, Good Help. So you see here we go download Excel, and we'll click here. So this will actually, you will actually download it, and once you have downloaded it, you'll hit run, and this will actually run itself into your Excel. You'll accept the license agreement, hit next, your name, install, finish. Now that's done. That's the easy part. Well, that's the easy part. It's just what you need to have done. Once this is done, all right, then once you are in Excel, so once you are in Excel, for example, hold on here. Sorry here, I'm just going to close this guy here. There we go. Close this guy here. Okay. I'm going to close this guy here. That's right. I'll just move one in here, hit save. All right, now, one of the things that you will need to do is you need to activate this on, I will start Excel all over again. Once you have Excel, what you want to do here, book one, there we go. So now, in order to have your Power Pivot here and your Power View here, elements like this, what you need to do is go to File. You will need to go down to your Options, File Options. Within this one here, what we will be looking at the actual add-ins. So now in the add-ins here, and I'm just going to. So you see here we have the Excel add-in at the bottom. Hit the drop-down arrow because we know these are COM add-ins, right? So you see now they are here, okay? And I'm going to hit Go. What you need to do is to make sure to activate them. They won't be. Mine are activated because they're already set up here. So if I was to take away my Power Query and my Power View and hit OK. Now, you see, I've lost Power Queries. And I've lost in my insert, my Power View will not work. So I'm going to come back here, Options, and yes, so we want to go into your add-ins, and this has, so this is the second step. Not only, so you may not have them, you may have to download them, and most of us have to do that. Then after that, you need to actually hit OK. And you see now my Power Query is up and running. You see it was before Power Pivot, so either or in my Power View here. So Ken, does that answer your question?
I'll let you know if I hear a message from them.
Okay, good, thanks. All right, so yeah, you need to actually go onto our friendly friend Microsoft.com to download the Power Pivots, the Power Queries, the Power Pivots, and the Power Views. Once they are downloaded, then you need to go into File Options, into your add-ins, and have them installed. So that's one of the things that you need to do. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, let me just check here. Okay, all right.
Ken was very happy with that answer.
All right, good. All right, so now what I'm looking here, I've downloaded this retail analysis sample of data. As you can see here, we have store times, district sales, and information. So now, so we're looking at an actual dashboard, if you wish. We're going to work with this dashboard, and we're going to create a set of reports that we could do in the process. So here, for example, if I decide I'm going to start here with just basically a table. So I can take this table here, and I could, from this point, I will, how about if I choose this, the stores, average selling, no. So yeah, within store table, I'll pull in the different cities. There we go. So cities. So now we'll be seeing all the cities. Sorry about that, it's a little bit small here. It's just my resolution is, and you see then, so there's the cities. You see, and we could have different chains by cities, and there. So as you scroll some information, I could go to sales and maybe put last year's sales. There we go. And I'm building this report through all of this information, and as you can see, there's different sets of tables that I'm working with this information. So I have now created an actual, just quickly, a spreadsheet in the process. So now I can turn around and I can choose. You see here, maybe I go and create a chart. You see here now in my chart. So you see here we have your axis. So let's go with stores or let's go with chains here, different chains. So chains. Maybe legends I can put in, or maybe put in the chains in the legends, so we can do that, and maybe go by districts. See, and the value maybe put in. Let's go put in our last year's sales. Then we're starting to build an actual you see chart here. So you're quickly able to build some information and build out front. So I could turn around and maybe go into create a map. Now, if I'm going to create a map, what we need to do is to be working with maybe with the different districts, right? So maybe a district. We may want district here, legend. How about if color color saturations? Let's go with different stores, different cities. You see, put in different cities here in the color saturation. So we'll have a series of cities. We did that a little too fast. All right, and okay. Let's start with size. Let's put in maybe sales again. We'll just put in gross margins and size. So we'll start building our information here in the process, and as you scroll your information and color saturation. Maybe we have within the cities different names. Or new stores, maybe new stores. All right, we're not getting this here. So now, if I open this up here, sorry, and now we'll be looking at, as you will drill down into each of them, you will see the locations where everything has been put in, depending on and then you can filter with these specific elements when you're looking for information. So that's one way of building this information, and you see, and I can break this down here after. Sorry, put this here, and this is how you start building your map or your dashboard to build your information, build your information, build your reports. And it's a dashboard of presentation that's very easy to look at. I'm going to just give you an idea here. I'm going to go to, I think I have this. We'll save this one here. I'm going to say my report. There we go. All right, so there we go. So there's my report that we created. See, now I see if I come here under test. See, we have here, and I can see. So there's my information. See, there's different information. So here I can say what has the most revenue, and see, work from profits, manufacturing, sales. Okay, let's go with my sales price. You see, and there you can see. So we're looking units sold. So I just basically from the data that I had, I'm able to start querying some of this information here, and see, it says, so depending on which one you look at, units sold, these are the same, units sold, sale price, and so, you know, we're able to do this information here. You know, sale price, I'll go with manufacturing, we're looking at a different set of data. You can do with products, I can do with, you know, so segments of information, there we go. So, you see, from financial, so depending, so you're able to view that information, and so you know, or I can see here, now it was right, so I can go by country. See, there's my country, so, and my most, you know, it's a financial sample, you know, sales, or you know, products. There we go. Countries that have most product, that's pretty bad. So here by products, by year, sorted by segments. There we go, small business, mid-market. So you see, you're looking at quickly information. So since I have these connections done, you're seeing how easy it is to not manipulate, but view these in knowledge. And now, of course, I have, you see, I can do this, and see, so we're looking at this information. We're having a thing. If I hit a little save here, there we go, and I'll hit save, there we go. And hit back, so back to test. Now, I just want to show you, see, we go around here, so we have here, and so we have this whole series, you know, so read aloud, my profits, I have different information here. So, you know, as soon as you click one here, there we go, you generate your report, you look at it here, and, you know, you can decide, if you had some filters to be done, you could be looking at that in this particular one here. So, it's really nice to work with, it's efficient, and really provides me an ability to actually generate some business intelligence, some business information, you know, the wonderful worlds of Power BI. And I can put it all together in a seamlessly fashion here. Now, before we move on any further and look at this, I do want to just bring one thing to your attention here. Oh, sorry, let's hit F5 here. All right.
Robert, can I slip in one quick question before?
Yes, please.
Franco was asking if Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power Views are also available in Excel 2010.
All right. Power Queries are not in 2010. All right. So you have your Power Pivots are available. When you fall into 2013, then you get your Power Views and Power Queries. The Power Pivot starts at 2010. So you still do have you still have a lot of workability with the Power Pivot. This is available in 2010. In 2013, you get the Power Queries and the Power Views.
Excellent, thank you, Robert.
All right, you're welcome. So yeah, so these are things that, yeah, okay. Now let's just take a second here. Do I have the? All right. Okay, here's 5. Hang in there, folks. Oh, okay. We're going to just do something. I'm going to cheat here, this here, and. All right, so hit a 5, there we go. Okay, sorry, change the settings here, swap. All right, so what we have here, when we talk about Power BI, the power behind it, there's a lot more to this, and I'm hoping that you've been enlightened with this part of the presentation where basically is trying to show you what's nice, but when we're looking at this, what we want to do is you see, you can bring this in to discover a better understanding, and we can actually take this and bring it up to SharePoint, which is another level of interest, another level of tools to work with that provides even more interactivity within your whole organization. And what we want to do is work with that end goal. So if we come to see you, yeah, we'll be working with an end goal, create a course, get you there. Post-training, come back for additional desk-side coaching if it's necessary. Yeah, we can bring that. We have the ability, we have the technology, and we have the knowledge, and with a lot of very, very strong trainers within our fold. Then you see, this is an idea of a 5-day custom training that can provide. The first one is a scoping session, half a day understanding what your data is. The client needs to be realistic. Pick a set of data that we can work with. And then as we go through the process, we'll get more information. And then we need to know what would be relevant for the group. So once we've gotten all that set up, then and the trainer is comfortable with that particular view, then we'll turn around the day 2 to 4 delivery days on Power Pivot, on Power Query, on Power Views, and right up to the Power BI if you need to. So that you can actually take all into consideration and have your people be able to create these elements, work comfortably in these elements, and be knowledgeable to report the information required by management, by the head of state. Sorry. So you know, it's things that you want, and it simplifies the process because, you know, we get information, we do a power pivot, then we try to do a chart, then we take a chart, we put it in PowerPoint, try to have it, well, you know what, Power BI puts everything together, and a single click, information can be gotten from it. Day 5, follow up 30 minutes with each participant, so once everybody's, and this is the beauty to it, you have been taught some work, you go back to your work session, you back to your workplace, you actually do with your data, you do some work, and we're there to be a consultant to help you out in the process of obtaining the goals you're looking to seek. Now, yeah, so discover, delivery, follow-up. So we'll discover what you need. Then, of course, either in the classroom or on site, we'll do a client-focused learning engagement so that will help your team get your results. And that's what we want. You don't want it to simply be, oh, yes, this is A, B, C, D, thank you very much, have a nice day. It's a little more, it's a lot more complete. It's a lot, you know, and it's a full process. The follow-up, yeah, we'll have one of our trainers, and if you take care of the picture on the end here, we have one of our trainers, one of our very good trainers that's, you know, making sure that what you have learned is you're able to work with it. We'll have you do it in front of us, and then you're able to take it one step further, how you work in the process. So, yeah, if you're using it, not yet, 2013, there's Power Pivot. We talked about Power Pivot for Excel 2010. If you're not on 2013, that's so I think that answers somebody's question there. Yeah, we have it there. In 2013, you move on to more stuff. We offer, you know, and yeah, there's a lot of public courses, a lot of group courses, and they will be tailored to your needs on Power BI. You know, talk to your rep, and he'll be able to provide you the insight, and he will get the expertise of the trainers to be able to provide you this presentation. Yeah, so remember, discovery, delivery, and follow-up. Make sure that when we are done, you are comfortable with that that part of the tools and information.
One question did come in.
Yes.
Celia was asking about Office 2016. Is there any other Power BI features that are coming down the pipe with Office 2016 that we can anticipate?
Oh, I'm sure we could, but let me just show you here. And this is sort of, gets quite to be interesting here. Do I have it here? Oh, yes, there you go. All right, and this is where, lo and behold, all right, so what we have here, this is my Office 365 tool, and so we have everything that's on Office 2016. Look, you see, I have an app for my Power BI right away. So you see here, I could actually, and let's just bear with me 2 seconds here. All right, okay, close this guy here. Next step, sorry, just bear with me 2 seconds here. There we go. And I'm going to close this guy here just to be, all right, so you see here, I have, this is my Office 365. There's the app directly here in the Office 365. Nicely laid out one. I'm going to click on it here. Boom. There's my Power BI. It's within the Office 365 tools, and boom. Now I can expand this, and here I'm ready to work on my information here. So this is accessible everywhere and everywhere. All right. So if I come back here to Power, you know, so there you see, go back. I could go back to my mail, my mail item. Sorry. There we go. I hit back. Sorry. Yeah, so if you hit your Office 365, oops, sorry. There we go. Back one more. We're back to the portal, and so yeah, and then of course this integrates with you know, you can export this element to your OneDrives anywhere you want. So there's a complete integration with this. And like I just quickly talked about, I don't have this on my Office 365, but if you're working with SharePoint, there's an integration with BI and SharePoint that is very nice, and that's all new to 2016. That's not in 2013. Hoping that answers your question.
Yeah, great to meet you. Thank you, Robert.
And the Power BI, to be honest with you, the Power BI is an evolving process. More as more tools are available, they're loaded onto the Power BI, and every month you go in there, hey, look, I can do this now. Hey, look, I can do that. And it's really it's well done, but we'll consider it at the infancy stage, even though it is far beyond that point. Any other questions?
Yeah, nothing more in the chat or QA function, but
All right.
anyone else does have some questions, now's your opportunity.
All right. Wow.
Okay, nothing else coming in, Robert. So not sure if you had a couple more slides to conclude with.
We're almost good to go. I can leave the floor to you there, Carl.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Robert. That was excellent. I'm sure everyone benefited. A couple of things I will mention is that if you missed something, or if you do want to share this with your colleagues, I will be emailing out a recording of this in the next couple of days. And I'll also paste into the chat function how you can reach us. And if you have any questions, I really like that package that you mentioned, Robert, about how we can come into your organization and not just deliver a course, but do that discovery, delivery, and follow-up. That's really essential to get everybody on the same team and speaking the same language. So that's great. There is one question that came in. Let me just see if I can find it here. Yeah, Simon asked if Power BI is an expansion of Power Pivot, or is it simply a complement of it?
It's a complement to it. It's a completely complement. So it's not. It is a separate, different app, or either you can download and you see here just to show. If you see, you can download even a Power BI desktop. So you just go to Microsoft, download the Power, and then you have that tool here working on a desktop function. Or you can go on the web and register it on with your Office 365 tool as an app. And if you create an account and you're in business.
Okay.
I just want to, if I can interject half a second here. So it's just taking a few seconds here. I'm going to just go here. Just want to show you, this is just a PDF file that we have here. Because I just want to, we talk about, you see, Power BI training, 5 days. And, we're looking at, this is what we're looking at the end, or the once you've completed this work. Actually, if I come here, there's this would be the Power BI, so I can open up, build reports, query. So that can be done from the desktop. So just want to show you. It's the same thing, but it is a desktop version. Now here we have, you see, at the course completion, this is what we're looking at here. There's a lot of elements that are put in. They're dedicated class, so they're done for you. Course completion, we're looking at working tables, configuring drill through, drill downs. Again, I just gave you a nice little outlook of it, but you see there's a lot of information here, a lot of things that are delivered, and then work on the outline. So the Power Views interface, the reports, working with the tables, you're utilizing matrix, applying filters, creating charts, and again, it's a concept training. So we're not coming here with an open book and say this is Module 1, Exercise B. So it's really, this is the concept, let's work with this, here's the tools, let's build something together, so that it's very interactive. But then, in our knowledge, it gives a lot more knowledge transfer than a simple read through the book. Because you go outside the book, the person can't help you. In this instance, the people. So there we have our Power Pivots, the loading data, examining relationships, understanding DAX. Now DAX, remember I did a DAX formula, equal year. That's a DAX formula. So then we're talking about how to use these, how to put, DAX, using a DAX for a period of time, present date plus 30, a range between 2 dates, less than 30, less than 60, less than 90. Oh, gee, look, we're looking at accounts receivable, greater than 30, greater than 60, greater than 90. So I can build this using my DAX with the process. So and then you have the Power Query, how to work with the Power Query interface. Getting some data, go on the web, get some data from the web, from outside sources, insert source, query it before it's actually loaded onto an Excel spreadsheet. So the information is a lot easier to work with, a lot less bulky in the process. So yeah, that's just, part of what the course will provide for everybody in process. Back to you, Carl.
Yeah, one other question came in. So
yep.
Glad to hear from the folks. Evgenia was asking if it's possible to use Power BI if they only have Excel 2010, or is it required to be at 2013?
You can use Power BI with 2010. Yes, you can. You need to register.
Okay.
Create yourself an account in Power BI. So when you go to Power BI, register Microsoft, you register your account, you will get Power BI.
Okay, good. Hope that answered your question, as good. Yeah. So if there's no other questions, we'll close out now. We're a few minutes before 2 o'clock, so that was excellent. Got it in under the 2-hour mark. Excellent questions, everybody, and I think it really gives us an opportunity too to see our instructors, the breadth and depth of their knowledge, and how they're able to respond to any kind of questions that you throw them their way. So just a sampling of what you'll get in the classroom, being able to spend a few days with our instructors, or if they're able to come into your organization and spend a good few days with you. You'll see the benefits there. Thank you, everybody, and I'm just one more question. Oh, a few thank yous coming in, so it was well appreciated. We'll say goodbye to everybody. Have a good rest of the Friday, a good weekend, and hope to see you again on the course with us very soon. Take care.